So hello, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to attempt this 2025 CSAT question paper with a target of attempting an ideal questions of 40 to 50 questions. This is my ideal range which I consider to be good attempt. So let's begin with reading comprehension passages. So I would do this paper in a total of 4 iterations. The first iteration would be of 30 minutes. I would do reading comprehension questions, and that too which are very easy. In the second 30 minute slot, or in the second iteration, I would jump to easy questions of reasoning plus quantitative aptitude. In the third iteration of 30 minutes, I would do assumption based questions or difficult questions of reading comprehension, and in the final iteration, I would do the rest of the questions of reasoning and quantitative aptitude, which I find doable in the adequate time. So let's begin. First, what I please pay attention to whatever I am doing, because this is the approach that I follow, which I am going to implement right away. Which one of the following statements best reflects the critical message conveyed by the author of the passage? Conservation of biodiversity is not an issue to be worried about when some people depend on ecosystems for their livelihood. This is utterly this statement, so I mark it with question mark. Commercial exploitation of forest goes against the fundamental rights of people dependent on forest. Okay. Sustenance of livelihood and degradation of ecosystems while being together exacerbate one another, leading to conflicts and imbalance. Commercial exploitation of ecosystems should be completely stopped. No. Let's see, I'm with these two statements. Maintaining an ecosystem just to conserve biodiversity will affect its commercial potential as well as livelihood dependent upon ecosystem. There is also a conflict between using an ecosystem only for livelihoods, for commercial exploitation, or strictly for conservation. Deforestation caused due to commercial exploitation will lead to indirect harm like flood situation problems and microclimatic instability, apart from adversely affecting livelihoods dependent on forests. These conflicts are particularly acute in developing countries where the dependence of people on the ecosystem is significant, and the commercial exploitation has the potential to boost national income. Commercial exploitation goes sustenance of livelihood and degradation of ecosystems while being together exacerbate one another, leading to conflicts and imbalance. Commercial exploitation of forest goes. This is the correct answer. Assumption based questions I'm not going to attempt. Which one of the following statements best reflects the central idea of the passage? Economies of scale is essential for transition to green growth. Modern technological progress is intensely linked to path dependent innovations. Countries with large economies are in a better position to adopt green technologies. Timing plays a crucial role in case of green technology development. The history of renewable energy suggests that there is a steep learning curve, meaning that as more is produced, costs fall rapidly because of economies of scale and learning by doing. The firm's green innovation is path dependent. The more a firm does, and more it is likely to do in the future. The strongest evidence for this is the collapse of the price of solar energy, which came about 90% cheaper during the 2010s, repeatedly beating forecast. Moving early and gradually gives more economies gives economies more time to adjust, allowing them to reap the benefits of path-dependent green investment without much disruptions. A more chaotic transition is costlier. Okay, is economies of scale. Modern technological progress is intensely linked to path-dependent. Countries with large economies are in a better position. No, timing play a crucial role in. Yeah, this is the largest essence. Assumption based. No. Which one of the following statement best reflects the most logical, rational, and pragmatic message conveyed by the author of the passage? The mitigation and adaptation strategies to tackle the climate change is essentially the responsibility of each state. India is too diverse to implement any effective. No. It is basically the responsibility of Indian government to implement the climate action plans and ensure net zero emissions. India needs to formulate effective climate change mitigation and adaptation strategies at the state or regional level. Each state in India faces a distinctive set of challenges regarding the impact of warming, but also offers its own set of opportunities for reducing emissions depending on its natural resources. For example, coastal states need to take action to protect their shores from sea level rise. Districts that are drier need to prepare for variable monsoon precipitation. Himalayan regions have their own unique challenges, and selected parts of peninsular India and offshore areas offer great opportunities for harnessing wind power. These various aspects need to be considered for developing clear and sustainable goals for the future. Mitigation is the responsibility of each state. Union government, no. This is the widest option we have been provided with. Critical message. India's political executive should be aware that poverty and social inequality and the consequent sense of insecurity is the main social problem. In India, poverty is the primary reason for social inequality and insecurity. Poverty and social inequality are so intricately linked that they pose an unmanageable crisis for India. Insecurity, more than poverty, is the main economic issue that government policies must address. If the social inequality is the most acutely felt problem in India, social inequality, insecurity more than poverty is the most acutely felt economic problem. Besides those below the official poverty line, even those just over the poverty line are subject to multiple economic insecurities of various kinds. Due to this, many government policies are actually intended towards mitigating these insecurities above poverty. Insecurity above poverty. India's political executive. India's poverty is the main reason. No. Poverty and social inequality are so intricately linked that they pose unmanageable crisis. No. Insecurity more than poverty. Yes. Following assumptions. No. Which of the following statements best reflects the corollary of the above passage? The benefits of economic reforms percolates down more slowly to the agricultural sector than in other sectors of the economy. For India, the Green Revolution was not as useful as it was expected to be. Question mark. India lagged behind other countries in adapting mechanized and modern farming. Rural to urban migration resulted in the stagnant agricultural sector. Rural to urban migration, which one of the dismal reality of the agricultural sector in independent India has been that it never experienced a high growth phase. Unlike non-agricultural economy, the highest decadal growth for agriculture has been just 3.5% in the 1980s. Also, after experiencing a spurt in decadal growth during 1980s, agricultural growth suffered relative stagnation thereafter. There is in sharp contrast to non-agricultural growth, which consistently increased from 1980s to 2000. So migration, we are not talking about anything. Reflects the corollary. India lagged behind. No. Green was not useful. The benefits of economic percolates more slowly. Yeah, because it is compared to other sectors. Also, after experiencing a decadal growth, agricultural sector suffered a relative stagnation thereafter. There is a sharp contrast to non-agricultural, which consistently increased. I think this is the appropriate answer, because the other factors we are not taking into consideration, because this option is also not talked about that much. I am but confused in this, but the more appropriate seems to be this option. So let's see. Assumption based. Which one of the following statement best reflects the most logical and rational inference? We need to free the handloom industry from limited narrative linked to preserving cultural heritage. Okay, continued state support to the handloom industry ensures the preservation of some of our glorious art forms and old tradition. Continued state support. Household units of the handloom sector should be modernized and made an economically viable organized industry. Handloom products need to be converted to machine made designer products so as to make them more popular. This is really doubtful. In our country, handlooms are equated with a culture that ensures a continuity of tradition. This idea has become a part of public policy framing and provides a legitimate basis for the state to support the sector. But the notion of tradition as a single linear entity is being strongly contested today. The narratives dominant in defining culture tradition in a particular way are seen to have emerged as the identities and histories of large sections. The discounted and at times forcibly stifled identities are fighting for their rightful place in the history. Against this backdrop, when we promote handloom as a traditional industry, it is not surprising that large sections of our population choose to ignore it. We need to free the handloom industry from limited narrative linked to preserving cultural heritage. This is absolutely wrong. This also wrong. Continued state support. So yeah, I would go with option A, most appropriate. Okay. Which one of the following statements best reflects the central idea? India does not have enough resources for promoting quality education in its universities. Question mark. The institutions of higher learning in a country should not be under the control of government. Question mark. Classroom approach to higher education should be done away with. Question mark. Classroom needs to be reimagined and teaching needs to be reinvented. Let's see. In our country, regrettably, teaching and learning for the examination have been our forte, but the new demands for society and the future of work require critical and independent thinking, learning through doing, asking questions from multiple disciplinary perspectives on the same issue, using evidence for building arguments and reflecting an articulation. Higher education should not either be a mere servant of the government policy or a passive respondent to public mood. Higher learning is all about how to think rather than what to think. Teaching has to be reinvented. Yes. Crux of the passage. There is an urgent need for public policy to promote the consumption of cereal based foods in wealthier societies. Urgent. Animal based food is far less efficient than plant based foods in terms of production and utilization. Plant based protein should replace the animal based protein in our daily diets. Question mark. Inequality in food production and consumption is inevitable in any fast changing society. Question mark. If there is inequality in the pattern of population growth, there is greater inequality in food production and utilization. As societies become wealthier, their consumption of animal products increases. This means that a greater proportion of such basic foodstuff as grain and legumes that could have fed humans directly is instead being converted into feed for poultry and large farm animals. Yet this conversion of plant-based food into animal food for humans is far from efficient. Only 16% of the calories fed to chickens are recovered by us when we eat them. 16%. This conversion rate goes down to 5 to 7% in large animals that are fed grain to add fat and some protein before slaughter. Animal urgent need, no. Animal based food is far less efficient, yes. Should replace, no. Inequality of food production inevitable, no. This is the broadest. Central idea conveyed by the passage. Moving to net zero carbon is possible only by the reduction in household emissions. Lower carbon behavior in people can be brought by incentivizing them. Cheaper goods and services can be made available to people by using low carbon technologies. Manufacturing industries that use low carbon technology should be provided with subsidies. Let's see. Over the next 30 years, many countries are promising to move to net zero carbon, implying that household emissions will have to be cut to close to nothing. A leading climate scientist reckons that at best half the reduction might be achieved through demand side measures such as behavioral changes by individuals and households, and even that would require companies and governments to provide more incentive to change through supply side investments to make low carbon options cheaper and more widely available. Is possible? Only no. Low carbon behavior in people can be brought by incentivizing them. Yes, it can be. Cheaper goods and services can be made available to people by using low carbon technologies. Manufacturing industries that use low carbon technologies should be provided with subsidies. I would go with, actually, I'm confused in this. Low carbon behavior in people can be brought by incentivizing them. It's all about the incentive. Here is a subsidies also incentive to manufacturing sector. Let's see, I would come back to this question. I am more inclined toward this, but I don't want to risk it right now. We'll do it in second iteration. Pragmatic message conveyed by the passage. Green economy is not possible without reusing critical minerals. Every sector of the economy should adapt the reuse of material resources immediately. Circular economy can be beneficial for sustainable growth. Circular use of material resources is the only option for some industries for their survival. Where is the passage? In only 50 years, the world's consumption of raw materials has nearly quadrupled to more than 100 billion tons. Less than 9% of this is reused. Batteries of old vehicles contain materials such as lithium, cobalt, manganese, and nickel that are pricey and can be hard to obtain. Supply chains are long and complicated. Buyers' risks are being aggravated by their suppliers' poor environmental and labor standards. Reusing material makes sense. Once batteries reach their end of their lives, they should go back to a factory where their ingredients can be recovered and put into new batteries. Is not possible without using. Every sector should adapt to reuse immediately. Whenever the word immediately comes, you need to be cautious. It is suspicious. Circular use of it is the only option for industries. I feel this option is most. A circular economy can be beneficial for sustainable growth. Central idea conveyed by the passage. Global climate change adversely affects the productivity of crops. Can be. Our total dependence on genetically honed crops entails possible food insecurity. Yes. Our food security should not depend on agricultural productivity alone. Okay. Genetically honed crops should be replaced with their wild varieties in our present cultivation practices. Whenever we are given the word replaced, immediately, cannot be, we need to. In my case, I become a little bit critical or cynical. Critical in my approach. I view it as a negative connotation. Let's see. It is hard to predict how changes in the climate and the atmosphere's chemistry will affect the prevalence and virulence of agricultural diseases, but there is a risk that such changes will make some plants infections more common in all climatic zones, perhaps catastrophically so. Part of the problem is that centuries of selective breeding have refined the genomes of most high value crops. They are spectacular at growing today's conditions, but genetic variations are not immediately useful to them have been bred out. This is good for yields but bad for coping with changes. A minor disease or even an unknown one could suddenly rampage through a genetically honed crop. Okay, this is wrong. Our total dependence, yeah, our should not depend on agricultural productivity alone. This is incorrect. Should be replaced. This is wrong. This is the correct answer. Assumption. Which one of the following best critical message? Without opposition parties, the administration in democracy gets to become more responsible. Democracy needs to have revolutionaries in opposition to keep the government alert. Revolutionaries, okay. Strong words. Rulers in a democracy need the support of opposition for their political survival. Okay. In a democracy, the opposition is indispensable for the balance of political power and good governance. I feel these all statements are a little bit off. Let's see which one is appropriate. A good statesman, like any other sensible human being, learns more from his opponents than from his fervent supporters. For these supporters will push him to disaster unless his opponent shows him where the dangers are. So, if he is wise, he will often pray to be delivered from his friends because they will ruin him. But though it hurts, he ought to also pray never to be left without opponents, for they keep him on the path of reason and good sense. The national unity of free people depend on sufficiently an even balance of political power to make it impracticable for the administration to be arbitrary and opposition to be revolutionary and irreconcilable. Administration should not be arbitrary and opposition cannot be revolutionary. So this option is incorrect. Without opposition parties, the administration gets. No, this is also incorrect. In a democracy, opposition is indispensable for the balance of political power. Rulers in a democracy need opposition for their political survival. This is incorrect. This is the appropriate answer. Let me clean it a bit. Following assumptions. No assumptions for second iteration. How much time it has been? It has been 22 minutes. I need to be quick now. Which one of the following statements best reflect the critical message conveyed by the author of the passage? Corporate capitalism is important for economic growth of a state and also for democracy. Corporate capitalism is imperative for a modern state to achieve its political objectives. No state can ensure its economic survival for long without the role of corporate capitalism. Corporate capitalism and democracies have mutual dependence for their continued existence, okay. There has been no democracy that has grown economically without corporate capitalism. It helps in modernizing the economy and enabling the transition from rural to urban and agriculture to industries and services which are inevitable with growth. It generates jobs, and there is no other way to fix a country's unemployment challenge without a further impetus to private businesses. Big companies can operate on a large scale and become competitive both domestically and externally. A vibrant corporate capitalist base can also lead to an additional revenues for the state, which in turn can be used for greater welfare of the marginalized and creating a more level playing fields in terms of opportunities. No state can ensure. No. Is imperative. No. Is important for economic and also for democracy. No. This is the correct one. Mutual dependence for their continued existence. With reference with most logical, okay, we must use WPI exclusively in measuring price and should be done away with ? The present calculation of inflation rate does not correctly measure the price rise of individual items and commodities. Inflation data under present services in the consumption basket. Knowledge of inflation is not really of any use to anybody in the country. Okay. A single number for inflation is an aggregate across different commodities and services. The price rise differs for different items of consumption. So the single number is arrived at by assigning the weights. For WPI, the weights in productions are used. For CPI, the consumption basket is used, but people are not homogeneous. The consumption basket is vastly different for the poor, middle class, and the rich. Hence, the CPI is different for each of these classes, and a composite index requires averaging the baskets. The present calculation of inflation does not correctly measure the price rise of individual item or commodity. Inflation data under present services in the consumption basket. I think this is the under present services. We are not talking about services, we are talking about different classes. Crux of the passage: trustworthiness cannot be expected in entrepreneurship. Trustworthy people are the most vulnerable people. No economic activity is possible without being exposed to betrayal. Trust is important, though it entails risks. Trustworthiness cannot be expected in entrepreneurship. Trust stands commonly defined as being vulnerable to others. Entrepreneurship implies trust in others and willingness to expose oneself to betrayal. Trust in expert system is the essence of globalizing behavior. Trust itself emerges as a super commodity in the social market and defines the characteristics of goods and services in the global market. Trusting conduct also means holding others in good esteem and an optimism that they are or will be competent in certain respects. Trustworthy are the most. I'm not quite sure about this now. No economic activity is possible without being exposed to betrayal. No. Trust is an important, though it entails risks. Yes. So yeah, this one. So yeah, we are done with the first iteration, I guess, and I left one question, which was this. I have some time, I guess. Yeah, I can attempt it. Moving to net. I'm confused between these two options, right? Low carbon behavior in people can be brought by incentivizing them. Yeah, cheaper goods can be by low carbon technologies. Manufacturing industries that use low carbon should be provided with subsidies. I don't think so. This is the entire crux of the passage. It was not particularly about manufacturing industries, right? It was about behavior, people centric approach. So yeah, let's select this option. So yeah, that is it for the first iteration. I will pause the video because I have to drink water and then I would get back to second iteration. So yeah, 28 minutes on an average for I don't know how many questions, but for the first iteration. So yeah, we took 28 minutes for the first round of questions. Let's firstly see how many questions have we attempted in the first iteration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we have just attempted 15 questions. I guess I need to be really quick in the second iteration now, because okay, let's start. Second iteration, assumption based questions. Here I come. No country needs to depend on ecosystems to boost national income. No. Resource rich countries need to share their resources with those of scant resources so as to prevent the degradation of ecosystem. Assumption is valid. I guess we can assume this. Oh, I'm sorry. In the second iteration, I need to solve the easy questions of reasoning and aptitude. And in the third iteration, I need to solve assumption based. I got a little bit confused. Let's get to this example. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November and December. January and January. So this is 12 months. January to December. January to December is 11 months. December to October. No, wait a second. This is January into 1 January. This is -1 December. This is October. October is -2. So we need -3 now. So this is July. X is July. And it is -3. Now we need -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we have April. That is our answer. If 7 into this and 12 into this is 20. 7 into 24. 7 square is 49. And this, so 25 square will be 625. And 24 square would be something like this only. Let's try it out and see for ourselves. I don't know 16 square, I don't know 63 square. So is this correct? 144 and 16 square would be how much? 15, 16, 6 is the 36, 9, 6, 1, 5, 256 plus 144. Yeah, 400. So yeah, this approach is correct, but I need to be quick. So just now what did I see? 16 square is how much? 16 square is 256. 256 plus I need to find 63 square. 63 into 63, 3 3s are 9, 6 3s are 18, 6 3s are 18, 36, 37, 9, 16, 8, 9, 3, 9, 6, 9 plus 2, 5, 6, 5, 12, 4, 2, 2, 5. This would definitely be this one, because we are getting a 5 in the units place, and that would is only possible for 65 because it has 5 in the units place. A 4-digit number and is such that when it is divided by this, leaves the remainder this respectively. 3 5 6 9 3 5 6 9 3 5 6 9 3 5 6 9 9 27 40 is 40 included in this. 36 40 36 it's 9, right? Finance 40. So this 54. Is 54 one of the options? Let's try it out. 1068. 3 5 15 16 17 18. Remainder is 3. If we divide it by 5, remainder is 3. If you divide by 6, 1068. You know what, this is taking too much time. I'd come back to you later. 13577 into 9 into 999 unit digit. Okay, 1 into 3 into 5 into 7 into 9, so it becomes 7 5 is a 35 into 3. Okay, so here unit place is 5. So if you take units place 5 into 3, you'll always get 5 in the unit space. So if I get 5 here, so answer would be definitely 5, because we saw in the last example here also, this example, the same logic applies here. First 100 numbers, how many of them are not divisible by any of the following? If this, what is the ratio minimum value? Okay, 4x 8, x is between 4 and 8 and y is between 7 and 2. Okay, what is the ratio of maximum value of x and y? I need maximum value of x. What is the maximum value of x? 8. Minimum value of y? Minimum value of y. Acha. I need a maximum value of y. Maximum value of y is how much? 7. And minimum value of x is x minimum value, smallest is 4 and minimum is of y. Y is from 2 to 7. 2, so 15 upon 2. And another possibility for this would be, here I had seen this example somewhere. It was considering a negative value in this, but how do we get a negative value for x minus y? Minimum value. Minimum value is 4. 4 plus 2, 6. Hmm. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. So I would take it as 6. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. A double B C, so this is wrong. A, this is also wrong. B C, A C, A B B. I don't know what is happening today. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's be calm, be composed. I don't need to panic. Situation is under control. Situation is under control. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here it definitely needs to be A. And here we are given triple C. Okay, if you add triple C here, it becomes A double B triple C. Here it is this. Okay, A double B triple C, A double B triple C. Yeah, this is the answer. We need to be calm, we need to be composed. Everything is under control, everything is under control. Maximum value of n such that divisible by 35 raised to n. 35 raised to n means 7 5s are 35. So we need to calculate here number of 5s and 7s. Seven into 743 is actually 7 cube. 385. 385 is what? I don't know. It would be something related to 5 into this 1000 is also something related to 5 into 24. This is also something related to 7, and this is 7 ultimately. So how many 7? Okay, we just need to calculate the number of 5s. The number of 5s would be less. This is how much number of 5s? Number of 5s 385. 5 7s are 35, 36, 37, 38. 5 7s are 35. 7 into 11. So I get a 5 here. A 1 5 here. In 1000, how many 5s? 5 2s are 10. 5 0s are 0. 5 0s are 0. 5 4s are 20. 5 0s are 0. 5 8s are 40. Here we get 3 zeros, 3 5s, 3 5s, and here 1. So answer is 4. What is x in the sequence? Increasing and then descending. So it must be half. 24 by 2 12. 12 by 2 12 into 1. 12 into 1.5. Let's see, 12 into 1.5. 5 2s are 10. 6 plus 2 8 1. So okay, so yeah, the correct answer here is 12 itself, because the series is like this: 1 half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 dot dot dot. So here it must be 24's half is 12. Okay, what we need to do here is insert 60s. 60s is divided by 15. P is what? P is what? Plus 3. R is multiply by 20, and Q is minus 4. 15 4 is 60, right? 4, and this is 60 minus 4. So first option in no way is correct. 60 minus 15 sorry minus 15, r is multiplied into 3, p is 20, and what is left is s is divided by 4. 60 minus 15 into 3, 45 plus 5. 60 minus 50. This is actually minus 45 plus 5, right? So it becomes minus 40, and the correct answer is 20. So yeah, a little bit BODMAS rule here and there, we need to be careful. N square is this, then how many digits does the number n have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. 17. Let's see for a single digit. 2 has single digit 1. If n is 1, then the squares also is 1. If it is 11, then 11 is 121. So if the unit digit, if the number is 2 digit, then we get square as 3 digit. Let's take it away ahead. 111 into 111 plus 111 into 1 1 2 3 2 1. So this becomes 1 2 3 4 5. 5 for 3 digit, it is 5. Okay, so it is like this: 1 3 4 5. So the next will be 7. 5 6 7 9 11 13 14 15 and then 17. 4 5 6 7 8 9. For 9n we get 17, so the answer is 9. I hope this is clear. What time it has? 47 minutes. 47 minutes. P is brother of Q. P is the brother of Q and R. P is the brother of Q and R. Q and R. P is male. S is the R's mother. S is R's mother. S is here. She is female. And she is R's mother. That means she is mother of these 3 kids. T is P's father. That means she is married to T. T is a male. T is P's father. How many of the following are definitely true? S and T are couple. Yes, this is definitely true. Q is T's son. Q, I can't say because the gender of T is not the gender of Q is not revealed. T is Q's father. T is Q's father. Yes, I can say that. S is P's mother. S is P's mother. Yes. R is T's daughter. R is T's daughter. No, I don't know R. P is S son. P is S son. Yes. 1 2 3 4. So the option is only 4. If no is coded as this. Okay, A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And n is coded as, okay, where is n, n is here, n is 14, and o is what, 15, 26, no, so it must be multiplication, 14 into 15, 14 into 15, 5, 4, 6, 7, 4, 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 210, okay. Then notes is this. Then how is notes written as? Okay, NOTE, S. What is S? Value of S is what? Value of S is 19. So I need to multiply 19 to 21 because here it is 2 1 this 9 1 9 2 is 18 3 9 9 3. It becomes 1 2 3 3 zeros. This is the correct answer. France is coded as this, Germany as this, and then Yemen is coded as what? Okay, y is 7. 7. E is written as 1. Yum is written as 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 8. E is written as 1. N is written as 3. This is the right answer. One, 3, 6, 11, 18, 42. It has been 51 minutes. This is 2, this is 3, this is 6, this is 5, this is 7. Okay, 2 3 5 7, and this would be 11. 18 plus 11 is 9, 29. In a certain code, 64 is written as this, 216 is written as this, then what is 512 written as? I know for a fact that 343 is 7 cube because we have seen it in earlier series also of 37 in 35. We did it as 7 into 5 and we had a number of 343. So this is 7 cube, and this is what? 64 is cube of what? 4. 4 into 4 16. 16 into 4 64. This is 4 cube. 729. So 216, I think 636 36 into 6, 18 19 20 21. This is 6 cube. 729, I think it is of 9 only. 9 cube. 81 into 9, yeah, 729. So what's the catch here? 4 5 6 7 6. Difference is of 3. Here also difference is of 3. 5 6 7 5 6 7. Okay, and 512 is written as 512 is square of what? Cube of 6 7, I guess 8. No, not 8. 8 8 is 64. 49 50 51. This is 8. 8, then 3 9 10 11. We need 11's cube, and I think 11's cube is this, if I'm not wrong. I would go with this definitely, because I had calculated it previously, right? Mm, what is the remainder when is divided by this? I don't know. There are 7 places. A is 6 km south of B. A is 10 km west of C. D is 5 km east of E. I don't know where is E. C is 6 km. Let me draw. D is to the 5 km east of E. C is 6 km north of D. C is 6 km to the north of D. That means this is correct. C is 6 kilometers north of D. F is 9 kilometers west of B. F is 9 kilometers to the west of B. 9 kilometers. F is 9 kilometers. F is 12 kilometers north of G. A person travels from D to F. D to F. What is the distance covered by him? 6, 10, 6, 9, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 31, P has 2 sisters. How is P has 2 sisters? P, R and S. Female, female. He has 2 sisters. R's father is brother of Q. R's father. How is Q related? So this is incorrect. R's father is the brother of Q. So this is also incorrect. I need to combine both the statements and let me see. R's father is the brother of Q. How is Q related to P? We don't know this gender. We don't know this gender. So definitely this is the correct answer. Cannot be answered even by using both the statement. It can be brother, this can be sister, this can be a male also, this can be a female also. So yeah. And we are at 58 minutes. At 58 minutes. So we are at the end of the second iteration. Now I am going to start the third iteration. Let's see how many questions we have solved of reasoning and quant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, okay, 15 questions, not bad. This is actually good. 15 questions. Let me write here second iteration, and this was our first iteration. Now let's head for the third iteration. Let's see the third iteration. The third iteration is this. I don't know if the audio that I am recording is correct or not, because I am recording it from a different source I had used previously. Okay. Assumptions have to be made. No country needs to depend on ecosystems to boost national income. This was never talked about. Resource rich countries need to share their resources with those of scant resources so as to prevent the degradation of ecosystems. What is wrong in this? Valid. Path dependent green investments will eventually most likely benefit growth as well as public finance in a country like India. If other green technologies follow the same pattern as that of solar energy, there will most likely be an easy green transition. We can't say this for sure. Path dependent green investments. Public finance. Path dependent green innovation. Yeah, this is correct. Green energy production can be linked to integrated with the climate change. Green energy production can be integrated with climate change mitigation and adaptation strategies. Yeah, effects of climate change are much more severe in coastal and mountainous regions. Himalayan Parbat. That is a Himalayan Parbat. I remember that video. Selected. Okay. Effects of climate change are much more severe in coastal. Much more severe. I feel this correct also, incorrect also. I'll come back to it later. People have the poverty above the poverty line are also are prone to suffer from anxiety about economic insecurity. Eradication of poverty can result in peace and social inequality in the country. No. Let me have a sip of water first. That will clear out a little bit. People above the poverty line are prone to suffer from anxiety. Yes. Eradication of poverty can result in peace. Besides those below poverty, yeah, even those just above the poverty line are subject to. So the statement is correct. Eradication of poverty can. No. Option 1 is correct. With reference to passage. The growing divergence between the fortunes of the agricultural and non-agricultural economy in India could have been contained by adapting large-scale cultivation of commercial crops and viable corporate farming. No. Corporate farming. Providing free insurance for all crops and heavily subsidizing seeds, fertilizer, electricity, and farm machinery at par with the developed countries. No. Neither. With reference to above passage, the following assumptions have been made. There is no need for the state to be involved in any manner in the handloom sector. No. Handloom products are no longer appealing and attractive in the rapidly changing modern world. No. Higher education is a constantly evolving subject that needs to align towards new developments in all spheres of society. Yes, in our country, sufficient funds are not allocated for promoting higher education. No. Food manufacturing and processing industries in every country should align their objectives and processes in accordance with the changing needs of their society. Wealthier societies tend to incur great loss of calorie of food material due to indirect utilization of their agricultural produce. Wealthier societies tend to incur great calories. Yeah, this is true. This is true, right? Should align their objective. Food manufacturing and processing industries in every country should align their objectives and processes in accordance with the changing needs of the societies. No. With reference to above passage, the following assumptions have been made. Supply side investments in companies can result in low carbon behavior in people. People are not capable of adapting low carbon behavior without the involvement of government and companies. No. Supply side investments in companies can result in low carbon behavior. Supply side. Yeah, why not? Automobile factories are examples of circular economy. Yeah. Economic growth is compatible with circular use of mineral resources. Economic growth. Circular use of mineral resources. I think it should be, but let's visit it once again. Economic growth is compatible with circular use of mineral resources. Let me just be quick here. The world's consumption of raw material and less than 9% has been reused. Batteries of old vehicles that are pricey can be hard to obtain. Supply chains are long and complicated. Buyers' risks are being aggravated by the suppliers' poor environmental standards. Reusing materials makes sense Once batteries reach the ends of their lives, they should go back to factory. Economic growth is compatible with circular use of mineral resources. Yeah, let's not overthink it. With reference to above passage, the following assumptions have been made. Global climate change can result in the migration of several plant diseases to new areas. Yes, scientific understanding of the wild relatives of our present would enable us to strengthen food security. Scientific understanding of the wild relatives of our present crops. This is correct. Global climate change can result in the migration of several plant diseases to new areas. Both. In a democracy, a strong opposition is required only if the head of government is indifferent. The more aggressive the opposition, the better is the governance in a democracy. Corporate capitalism promotes the growth of labor force and provides more employment opportunities. Yes, poor and marginalized sections of populations are benefited by corporate capitalism due to trickle-down effect. The democracy without which are inevitable there is no fiction without a further impetus to private business operator mass can become redundant. However, corporate consumption is traditional revenue which in turn can be used for greater welfare of the creating more the opportunities. Poor and marginalized sections of populations are benefited by corporate capitalism due to trickle-down effect. Where it is said, it is not mentioned. Best explanation. Acha, I had forgotten to attempt this, I guess. It emphasizes the inability of the state to enforce. A network of voluntary associations stands as a buffer between the relatively powerless individual and potentially powerful state. It emphasizes the inability of state to enforce its will in practice against the opposition of certain groups in it. It is a cooperative organization for the promotion of well-being and development of personality of its members. It takes individuals out of state of isolation and gives them a chance to participate in common endeavor. It permits citizens to have a variety of loyalty and allegiance. No. Inability of state. No. So the answer must be this. It is a cooperative organization for the promotion of well-being and development of personality and its members. Yeah, I would go with this. There exists a natural number which let's see again which questions have we left. Green energy production can be integrated. This is correct. Effects of climate change are much more severe in coastal and mountainous regions. India faces a distinct set of challenges regarding impact, but it also offers its own set of opportunities for reducing. For example, coastal need to take for example, so this is incorrect. So yeah. Third iteration, I don't know how many questions I have attempted in third iteration. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 questions. 13 questions. 5, 10, 13. That brings us to 33 questions. That brings us to 43 actually. Now fourth iteration. Fourth iteration. Fourth iteration. What is the time? I completed this iteration in just 16 to 18 minutes. This was 30 minutes. This was 30 minutes. Please keep in mind. So now I have time left for fourth iteration, about 42 to 44 minutes. Now let's keep our head calm. How many questions I need to attempt? 43. So around 6 to 7. A natural number and such that it can be expressed where p, q, r are distinct factors. How many numbers below 50 have this property? Three prime numbers p, q, r, each less than 20. How many distinct possible? P minus R is equal to 2Q. Prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, less than 20, 13, then 17, 19 is also a prime number. Possible values we can get for P, Q, R. So if we take 2, I can put same digits here. I mean 13. And here it can be anything. P minus R. P minus R. I don't know, man. Hmm. 3, 5, 6, 9. 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6, 3 threes are 9. 2, 5, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 5, 1, and 5 into 1. 5 threes are 15, 15 twos are 30, 30 into 3, 90. Okay. LCM is 90. Then LCM is 90. LCM is 90. 90 into 100. 90 into 10 is 900. 900 plus 990 plus 90, 1080, leaves the remainder 1. So I guess I have to add 2. 1082. Now let's see. 1082. 3 3 are 9, 3 5 are 15, 16, 3 6 are 18, and 3 it leaves a remainder of 2. So subtract this 1078. For 3 threes are 9, 3 5s are 3 6 are 18. I don't know what is wrong here. Why this example keeps wasting my time. Oh my. If B is always greater than E, what relation do I have over here? B, C, D, E. B is greater than C, but C is less than D. But C, that means B is also less than D. That is, D is greater than E, which means B is less than D, but D is greater than E. B is always greater than E. No. Or it can be, na? It can be. Because E is less than D. No, it can be like this. Ki B suppose B is 2 and D can be here 4 and E can be 3. So to say that this is incorrect. S is always less than V. S and V. S is equal to T U V. S is equal to T. S is equal to T. So S is always less than. S can be equal to U. This is incorrect. Neither. from 4 to 8. What is the ratio of maximum value of x plus y? Max x 8, max y 7. 8 plus 7 is 15. Minimum value of this x minus y. Minimum value of x. Minimum value of x is minimum value of x. Minimum value of x is minimum value of x. Minimum value of x is 4. Minimum value of x. Minimum value of x. Minimum value 4 from 4 to 8 and 2 to 7. Minimum value of x. Minimum value of x 4. Minimum value of y. Minimum value of y 2. So the answer becomes 15 divided by 2. But I know for a fact that the answer is this, because I have solved this question earlier, but I don't know where I am making mistake, so I would not attempt this question. Let PQR be a 3-digit number, triple P is a 3-digit number, PS be a 2-digit number where this is this distinct factors. PQ walk a circular track. Let P is equal to triple Q be a 3-digit number. What is the HCF of this? 489th digit. 489th digit. There were data sufficiency questions. A question is given followed by 2 statements. Question and statement. What is the smallest 1-digit number having exactly 4 distinct factors? 4 distinct factors. 6. For 6 it would be 6 1 2 3, and for 8 it would be 8 1 2 4, and it is asked smallest, so smallest is 6. So by this statement alone we can answer without any statement. Question can be answered even without using any of the statements. The question is given by 2 statements. Let P Q R S be this. Be distinct non-digit digits. If P into Q is equal to RSS, where P is this, Q is this, what is Q equal to? In a football match, team P is playing against Q and was behind by 3 goals with 10 minutes remaining. Does team P win the match? In a football match, team P, team Q, 10 minutes on the clock. Team P playing against Q was behind by 3 goals. behind by 3 goals. So take this as 3, take this as 7. Team P scored 4 goals in the last 10 minutes. 4. That becomes 11. And it is asking, does Team P win the match? 7, and here after 4 it becomes 11. So definitely it wins the match by 4. Is there any other P, Q? Suppose it is 4 here and it is 1 here, and they score, Team B scored 4 goals in the last 10 minutes. That adds your score to how much? 5. This is the question can be answered using this statement. Team Q scored a total of 4 goals in the match. With this statement, I don't think so we can come to conclusion. Can be answered with one of the statement alone, but cannot be answered using other statement alone. Is P, this can be a natural number, where P minus P, Q are natural numbers. P is greater than Q. P is less than Q. If P is less than Q, that gives us what? 2 plus 5 square minus 4 into 10. That gives us 7 sevens are 49 minus this gives us 40. This gives us it is positive. P maximum value of P into Q when maximum value, the average of three numbers of P, Q, R is K. P, Q, R is K. K is average. P is as much more than the average as Q. As Q is less than average. P is as much more than the average, so P is here and Q is here, and we are left with R. What is the value of R? Value of R is K, if I am not wrong. Let's see it again. Average of three numbers is P, Q, R. Average, that means middle term is K. P is as much more than the average as Q is less than the average. So Q is here, P is here, and the middle term is R, and R is K. What is the real number? What is the real number between 0 and 1? Let X Let x be a real number between 0 and 1. Which of the following statements is correct? 0 and 1, 0.4 and 0.4, let it be 0.2, 0.4, and here it would be 0.08 something, so this is correct. 0.4 is greater than 0.4 1 half. 0.4 1 half, that means 2, 0.2. This is also correct. Both the statements are correct. I guess that is it for the fourth iteration. I still have time. I still have around 24 minutes. So 1 hour 36 minutes. Let's count the number of questions we have attempted. 1 2 3 4 4 5 6 6. I'll do one thing. I'll pause the video and I would count the questions that I have attempted, and the questions that are correct and the questions that are incorrect, and the score. So after calculation, as you can see, we have a total of 8 incorrect and 42 questions as correct. So if we calculate it, so we have 42 into 2.5 is 105, and 8 into 0.83 is 6.64. If we subtract the two, we get 6.64. we get the score as 98.36 for CSAT 2025, and I still had 24 minutes left on my hand to do rest of the things, to attempt more questions. So I just wanted to see one small thing: how many questions were incorrect from the part of reading comprehension. Let me see. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 5 questions were incorrect from reading RC. 5 were incorrect from RC. Okay, so I need to work upon my accuracy there also. No problem, I would fix that too with the practice that I am doing. This is the practice that I have been doing for myself. So the final comes to 50 questions in 1 hour 36 minutes. Okay, that was it for this video. I will go analyze the rest of the questions.